Hey, it's Luke with Out of Darts. Today I'm going to show you how to change the length of your spring and why and when you'd want to do that. So the Tachi Magazine is a 29-round magazine that has two spring options. The first is a long one. This is for very high rate of fire that'll feed up to 25 rounds a second in our testing. You'd only want this if you're going to utilize something over 10 rounds a second. If you're going to be below that, either a semi-automatic blaster or any Springer, you're going to want to either choose the lighter spring setting or you're going to want to clip it yourself. Today I'm going to show you how to clip it yourself. So if you did get the initial release of the Tachi magazine, you would have received the heavy spring. What we realized in our somewhat limited compared to normal testing due to the illness is that most people are using Springers. So the reason you'd want to change the tension is that the heavier compression spring, the stronger spring, will actually force your darts, will cause more dart squish over time and more dart wear. So when these sit in the mag, they're compressed by the spring, and the tighter and more powerful the spring is, the more they'll get compressed. Now, if you don't need the high rate of fire, you will certainly not want that extra compression because it's not necessary. So at that point, you're going to clip a few coils off of the spring. To get the spring out, the bottom cap needs to be removed. To remove this, you're just going to undo these clips here, and the spring cap will pop. You kind of have to squeeze both sides and work it back and forth. You'll notice there's quite a bit of extra pre-compression, and that's why we're going to shorten this up. There are two methods for shortening it up. You can use a simple, cheapo, pliers. There's just needle nose pliers. They've got a little cutter right here, plenty strong. You could also use bolt cutters. That would be a little ridiculous. Flush cutters will also handle this no problem. So every modder should have the tool to do this very, very quick mod. The default we're recommending right now is 5 coils. So we're going to count from here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to cut just below that to keep a little bit of that. And that was not really much force at all. And then what I recommend doing is just bending this spring steel just a little bit to flatten that bottom edge. It doesn't take very much, and it does not have to be perfect. I'm going to curl up this little part here. That's just going to get wedged in the corner of the actual cap. And then you're simply going to put your cap back on. Make sure the two halves, right now you can see what actually happened here is I've got the little spring is sticking out. So you want to make sure the spring gets into the corners and that the tabs are both fully retained. And that's it. That's all you got to do to reduce the pressure on your darts. Now you can experiment. If you're finding this is feeding just fine, you can cut another coil. If you want it to be even less compression on the darts, you can go as far as cutting all the way to about here, and you'll still get feeding for a Springer. Now it's going to vary on your darts. We recommend Adventure Force Pro and Worker Gen 1, 2, 3, or 3 Plus. All of those are what we test in this blaster. We don't recommend wide-headed darts at all for the Tachi magazines. Hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, do ask them down in the comments or shoot us an email. Obviously, if it's anything customer service related, shoot us an email directly rather than leaving a comment, because that's the fastest way we'll be able to take care of you. Thank you so much for supporting the shop, and I'll see you next time.